I have never seen an officer touch my client's breasts. He made her turn and face the vehicle, asked her to spread her legs apart, then asked her to spread them further, and ran his hand in between her legs.
On September 25th, Raleigh police officers approached a 26-year-old woman at a gas station on St. Mary Street, suspecting her of drunk driving. A simple DUI test escalated into an assault case when one of the officers violated her rights.
In court, but right now we need to move on to the standard field sobriety test, all right? And like I said, this is implied consent. When you got your driver's license, you signed a form saying that you consented to these tests.
So I can also wait until my lawyer's here to do any sort of field form.
No. You can refuse to do the test, but what's going to happen then is we're going to take you to a breathalyzer, and that'll do a breath analysis for your VAC.
So I went to...
And you're going to lose your license. The DMV will automatically... Your license is automatically going to be suspended for 30 days.
He's not there. I'm getting gas.
Okay.
And now we have to do it.
Like I said, these are standard field sobriety tests. If you're not impaired, you'll be able to drive out of here.
Yeah.
What's your name? Have you had anything to drink tonight?
Yeah, I had one drink.
Okay. One drink is all, right? Okay. All right. Are you willing to do any test for us to make sure you're okay to drive? Listen, I think you're gonna ace this test. Okay? We won't even have to do all three of them. I think you're gonna do fine on the first one. Okay. But we won't know until we try. Okay. And so you don't have to do the test.
My friend's place.
Sure. Uh-huh.
All right, I'm getting gas.
Yeah, so...
And then now I'm pulled over.
Yeah, so listen, he was just...
What did I do to get pulled over, though?
That officer already had explained that he had seen you basically jump 2 curbs.
2 curbs.
While you were driving.
Well, it's on video, right?
Yes, it is.
It is on video.
Yeah.
But then now I have to do like that.
You do not have to. We already explained that to you. But we want you to be able to do the test so you can prove that you're okay to drive. Because right now all we have is driving history and an admission of drinking of alcohol, which is enough for us to arrest. I'm not saying I want to do that, but we want to make sure you're okay to drive. Does that make sense?
That's fine. I
All right. Do you feel like you're okay? Are you willing to do it? Can you step out for us?
You step out from there.
I think you're going to be just fine. I'm going to hold your door so it doesn't hit the gas pump. Just walk back over there for me.
If you're okay to drive, then you're okay to drive.
All right, you can walk right over here. All right, so there's 3 tests. The first one, I'm going to check your vision, all right? So you have glasses. You can go ahead and remove those.
Yeah?
Yes, go ahead.
Am I good?
Yeah, you can go ahead and remove them.
Like,
all right.
woo, got him $1. Sorry.
All right, so I'm going to be checking your vision. So I'm going to be looking at what's called horizontal gaze nystagmus. Is there any medical reason that you'd have that would cause issues with your eyes, causing them to twitch or anything of that nature?
I mean, I twitch all the time.
So. The vision, yeah. It's not related to the glasses. So,
Okay.
all right. Okay, so no medical reason? All right. So what I need to do is stand with your feet together, hands down to your side. Okay. I'm going to have you look at the tip of my finger and follow it with your eyes only. Do not move your head. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Follow the stimulus with your eyes only until the test is complete. Do not move your head. Do you understand? Continue to track the tip of my finger with your eyes only. Do not move your head. Okay, so that concludes that test. Relax for a moment.
I don't know. I feel like I'm like...
Do you want your glasses back? You can put them on. Okay, so put your left foot on that line for me.
All right.
Put your right foot in front of your left foot so that the heel is touching your left toe. Put your hands down to your side. And do not move from this position until I tell you to do so, all right?
I'm not coordinated, though.
I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this for you now. You're going to take 9 heel-to-toe steps, counting them out loud like so while you're looking down. Ma'am, can you be in the starting position?
How can you do it, though?
So it'll look like this. 1, 2, 3. You're going to carry on all the way till 9. On the 9th step, you're going to keep that knee all the way on to 9. So you've hit 9, you completed the test. Do not stop the test until it's been
I didn't
completed.
see you do 9.
So, again, in summary, from the starting position, you're going to be looking down at your feet. You're going to keep your hands down to your side. You're going to take 9 heel-to-toe steps. You're going to count them out loud, and you're not going to stop until the test is complete. Do you understand? Okay. You may begin the test when ready. So, get the starting position. Right, when you let go, get down. For the test, is that all you recall?
I'm asking, did I start from 1? I did 3.
I gave you the instructions at the beginning. Once you began, you were supposed to go.
So 9?
Was that what the instructions were?
They were.
Are you done with the test? All right. So I got one more field sobriety test for you, okay? This one's much more simple. What I'm going to have you do is stand with your feet together, hands down to your side again, all right? All right. Remain in that position until I've completed the test instructions and tell you to begin. Do you understand? All right. So this is the one leg stand. For this one, I'm going to have you raise one foot, either foot, approximately 6 inches off the ground, keeping that foot parallel to the ground and both legs straight. It's going to look like this. Once you have it up, you're going to count out loud like so. 1001, 1002, 1003, until I tell you to stop. You're going to keep your eyes on the elevated foot, both legs straight. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Is this a sexual assault?
Yes. I had no other opinion from the moment that I viewed it.
Okay. Maybe begin the test. Right. Are you up?
I was up at 9.
Okay. All right, ma'am. So, put your hands behind your back for me. So you're under arrest for driving while impaired. As I mentioned before, those tests are standard tests. Detect for sobriety, for impairment. You showed impairment on all 3 tests.
All right, listen. So what's going to happen now? Have you ever had a DWI before? You have? Okay. You're going to get an opportunity to blow into an instrument later. It's called an intoxilizer. Okay. I'm going to explain all those instructions to you later. All right. So you are going to be transported to jail. Do you need anything out of your car? Cell phone, wallet, keys, anything like that? We're going to park the car for you if that's okay. Over in a parking spot so you can get to it later. Is that fair?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Do you have your cell phone on you?
No, I don't.
It's in your car. Do you want us to get that for you?
So what'll happen is probably within hour and a half.
I'm saying I work at 3:30 tomorrow.
In the afternoon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I have no idea what a magistrate is going to say. You've been nothing but polite cooperate with us. We'll let the magistrate know that, and they take that into
What
account.
are you looking for? There ain't nothing in there. You already found all the LaCroix.
We got
Sorry.
Yeah,
I should probably
he
be
just
more
got checked,
upset,
right?
but I'm not.
But,
This is not fun. I was like, gonna be like, hey, cool.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
So I do have to search your person as well. Do you have anything on you that I got to worry
I
about?
don't have anything.
Nothing that's going to poke or stick me?
Man, sucks. So, do I have to call somebody to bail me out? Am I just going to get bailed out? How does that work?
If they set bail conditions,
I mean, I feel like
then you have to call someone. Like I said, after you get done with the processing, you have access to a phone, and you'll see a magistrate.
I don't know anyone's numbers here.
I appreciate your cooperation. Got anything in your pockets?
No, I don't have anything. I just would appreciate a chance to Uber.
You had that chance when you left the bar. You don't have that chance anymore.
I get it.
All right, can you face the car and step your feet apart for me?
What do you need?
Step your feet apart for me. A little further.
But I need a squat.
All right, you should be good. Do you want me to zip up your jacket for you?
I would love that because I'm feeling a little fucking open right now.
And just make sure you,
Are we really doing this?
so you can take a seat in the car while we figure out a place to park your vehicle, all right?
I appreciate you.
No, thank you for being polite with us. We have...
I wish it was different.
After some clips went viral online, the woman hired a lawyer and sued the creepy police officer.
Is this a sexual assault?
Yes. I had no other opinion from the moment that I viewed it. He made her turn and face the vehicle, asked her to spread her legs apart, then asked her to spread them further, and ran his hand in between her legs.
After the lawyer filed a lawsuit against the police department, the police called it shameful and defended the officer's actions.
With an allegation that came about from one of our local attorneys that spoke, in my opinion, rather egregiously about the actions of one of our officers as he conducted a search, a ballot search.
If you think only creepy officers use their power to abuse women, you're mistaken. Meet Rock Contardi, who put his hands inside another man's pants during a traffic stop.
I still think it was still tucked away, and I just couldn't feel it, if you really want to know the truth. But I wasn't trying to go any further than I did.
I think you went pretty far in making you aware of that.
He's just trying to get a good cop off the street, and you guys are entertaining it. At the end of the day, that's what it is.
Well, I have to entertain every complaint. And to be honest with you...
That's why I even told him to go and file a complaint. But if you listen to the video, he consents to whatever I'm going to do. Just get it over with so I can leave. If you listen to it, just go ahead.
But that doesn't make it okay.
Okay. Even Sergeant Moon said this was going to be nothing.
Why would he say that?
I don't know. You ask him.
Okay. Justified for you to conduct that search if it was more than marijuana.
How is that I don't understand how using the blade of my hand...
Well, take the blade out. You stuck your hand in his private area and searched.
And I told you that's where they hide it.
That's a violation of your...
Okay, so I admit to a violation. I know what happened there because I was there. And you guys can look at the video all day long and say this and say that. I know what truly happened. Was that justified? I feel like it was. And it may not meet the mold of the policy here, but I feel like it was. And I've made arrests and I've found drugs. I found a lot of drugs doing that same method.
Do you know this gentleman could file a federal lawsuit against you?
Did I? Yes. Although I didn't smell weed. Did I smell weed last time too? Did I smell weed again? Oh no, I do now. Much more pronounced. I'm telling you it is. Roll down the back. I'll do the back too. What do you think the back is? You got a test. Give me your test meter. Test it. You got a test meter you can use? Yeah, they're all different shades, guys. All different shades of tit. It's not a debate. All right, I'm telling you. All right. You got anything illegal on you, man? All right, man. I'm gonna ask you to step out, okay? I'm gonna make sure there's no weed in here. But listen, dude, I appreciate honesty. That goes a lot farther. All right. If you got anything in here, tell me now before you step out. Come on. I got things to do, right? Do me a favor. Yeah. You smell the black mine. I'm not just smell the weed. Black suit right now. Let's go. Man, go.
Keep your hands on the car. Keep your hands on the car.
So what you cuffing me for?
I'm cuffing you because you're not listening to my orders. I'm telling you to do something.
Because you touched my That's why. You grabbed my What the fuck? You ain't got to do nothing. That ain't how you search nobody. You invader. Man, I lost some goddamn mind, man.
Nothing in the car, right?
I ain't nothing in there, man.
Walk back to my car. One more time to you, right?
What you put me in the car for?
I'm not putting you in the car, man. I'm just trying to protect your privacy, okay?
Yeah, listen,
so you can turn this
you
way.
ain't finna strip, man. Ain't nothing in there.
Got any gloves on you? No, I don't.
And listen, when you get done, I need an apology too, man. Real talk.
Dude,
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I gotta do my job, okay?
Okay. What is it? Catardi?
Catardi.
Okay.
Retired.
I got you, man. That's crazy. I really want an apology, man, when you get done. That's crazy, bro.
Just hang out with him and check the car. What do you got here?
That's my neck. I just watched
here, put that back.
Hand, man. Go ahead and do what you got to do with you. Come on, put your glove on, do what you got to do real quick, man. For real, man. You know what?
Take a seat.
I'm staying right here. You told me to stand. I'm going to stand right here. I ain't got time for this, man. That shit crazy, man. Man grabbing on my shit for no reason. What search is that? Since when did they start that? Huh? Can you tell me that? When did they start that?
Bro, I growing up on these streets, bro.
It
Where's
don't
the first
matter where
place
you
you gonna
grew up
hide
at.
your,
It
where
that
you
ain't
gonna
got
hide
nothing
your
to do
dope,
with-
bro? You
Since
gonna hide it
when-
right in your ball
Since
sack.
when have y'all started grabbing people dick?
It
Since
ain't about
when?
grabbing nobody, bro. It's about hiding your shit.
It don't matter, but since when have you started grabbing people dick in their
Ain't nobody
privacy?
trying to do that.
Man, that's what he did.
If you want to go and complain, go complain.
That's what he did.
That's how we do it out here.
Man, what's this?
Did he have time to stuff it in?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I'm sure he did. It's just I don't know how far he wanted to push it.
Would you feel it or no?
No, I can't really get in there though, man, without going too. They put it right either under their nuts or up their ass. You know, but I'm not 100% confident that it's there, so I'm not trying. I like to find something in here before we went that route. I mean, he's smart. He knows.
Percent 10. Y'all meet the wrong.
It is, brother.
Oh, it ain't, man.
Okay. All right, listen. Your car doesn't really smell like anymore.
I know it don't. It's a black and
dude,
mild.
we just making me think that
Oh, but it don't smell like anymore after you done did all
After we
this?
took you out and I put you over
Come
here,
on,
man.
I don't even smell like weed. I told you that from the get-go. It's a cigar right in my door. But you come grab all of my shit talking about it smell like weed, man.
Is it weed flavored?
What you mean? Go hit the
is it
cigar
weed-
yourself,
is it weed
man.
scented?
Go hit the cigar yourself, man.
This shit in that, man.
Ain't nothing in there, man.
All right, bro. As long as there ain't,
Damn.
then you just leave him with a ticket.
For what?
Well, for the tent, man.
Man, listen, I'm telling you, my tent
Then
is
go-
not 13.
then go contest
How about we
it,
go
man.
to the tent place where I got it done at? They'll even tell you it's not 13.
You got some minis in there.
Ain't nothing in there. Probably some change or something. I don't know, man. All this tonight. Now my car don't smell. So what you still searching me for? My car don't smell like weed.
Because you're smelling.
Oh, nah, I smell like weed. How the hell?
You were in your car. I took you out of your car. Your car doesn't smell like weed
I
anymore.
smell like weed.
You smell
That
like
don't make
weed.
no sense. How?
Back up a little bit.
How? Man, what the hell are you doing? So they allowed to do all this? But my car don't smell like weed, but he's still searching me? What is you doing? Ain't nothing in there. Why?
Here.
Man, listen, man. See what I'm... That's crazy, man. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Why y'all in my shit, man? What the fuck is wrong with you? There ain't nothing
Dude,
there.
shut your mouth, okay? I gotta search you to make sure there ain't nothing in here. So stop it.
Exactly. Come on, now. How you like that?
Anything in your ass?
Ain't nothing in there, man. What the fuck wrong with this man, man? I hope your hands smell like ass, too, when you get done. Real. Go ahead. Stick your finger in there. That's right. Hope your hands smell like straight ass.
That's why I got the gloves.
All right, do me a favor. Sit down.
Yeah,
Sit down and
man,
kick your
don't
shoes.
make no
Kick
sense,
your
man.
shoes off, kid.
None at all, man. Take it off.
Kick them off. Go ahead.
Take it off.
Kick your
I
shoes
can't.
off.
Take,
Stop
you
being
gotta
an
it's
asshole,
tight.
dude, okay?
Take it off, man. You done dug all in
They're
my
not
ass.
tight.
You dug all in my ass, but you can't take your shoe off. Shit. That don't make no sense. Go ahead, take it off. There you go. There you go. I'll take the other one off. You happy?
Yep.
Exactly.
Here. Dude, it's not like I'm trying to catch
man,
you with
this
it.
don't make no sense,
It's just,
man.
it's illegal, man.
You don't
You know
make
what
no
I'm saying?
sense, man. You said my
Sit
car
down.
smell like weed, now you say it don't. But then you dig all in my ass and grab my dick and shit. How that sound?
Well, what do you mean,
That don't make no sense.
I'm doing my job.
You
I
ain't
gotta
doing
make sure
your
you got
job,
drugs
man.
on you,
You
okay?
ain't doing your job, man.
Yeah.
You ain't doing your job, man. You just illegally searched me. That's what you did.
There's no illegal search here.
You just illegally.
Sorry for the inconvenience, man.
You straight? It's all good, bro. Trust me.
Like I said, man, it's nothing
It's all
personal.
good, man.
It's not you, man.
It's all
That's
good.
these other guys out here, dude. That's all.
It's all good.
All right, pick them up. Pick them up. Put your belt on.
Nah, you took it loose, didn't you? Shit. Man, fuck all that, man. I ain't with this
So you're
crazy
gonna walk
ass
around with your
shit,
pants falling off?
I want everybody to see what you did. You took my motherfucking belt.
All right, his allegation is that he was stopped for the tent, and that he was told that the car smelled like marijuana, and he was handcuffed, pulled from the vehicle, and you searched him with gloves on, but stuck your finger in his rectum, and also searched down his pants looking for any type of narcotics, which evidently you did not find any. Is that, you aware of his complaint?
I am aware of the complaint.
Okay, can you tell me, in your words, your involvement with the traffic stop?
I responded to back up Officer Rose on a traffic stop. During the course of the investigation, Officer Rose notified me that the car smelled like marijuana, and that was upon my initial arrival. Upon my contact with the driver, Mr. Marvin, I did detect a strong odor, the strong distinct odor of marijuana emitting from inside the vehicle. I inquired to Mr. Marvin if there was anything illegal inside the vehicle, such as drugs, and he informed me there was not. I asked him to step out of the vehicle, at which time I conducted a pat-down of his pockets, exterior portion. Mr. Marvin began to disobey my commands of keeping his hands on the vehicle. Became fidgety. For officer safety purposes, I didn't know what Mr. Marvin's, what his actions might have been. So for officer safety purposes, I detained him with handcuffs in order to properly conduct a pat down of his clothing. At which point, I then, nothing was found inside outside his pockets or anything. I brought him back to my vehicle, at which time Officer Bias stayed present with him, and at which time Officer Rose and I began a search of the vehicle for the that we were smelling.
Okay, so when you're searching him, when you first take him out of the car, he basically says you're touching his dick, looking in his dick, and that's why he's flinching. Did you conduct a search under his, like manipulate his scrotum area outside the pants?
There was no manipulation. No. I just used my hands, went inside his pockets, did not touch any private area at the time because I was still, unaware where the possible drugs could have been, whether they were on him, concealed, or they were inside the vehicle. He was very close to the vehicle, and so I was smelling the marijuana, so I wasn't sure if it was coming from him or the vehicle, which is why I separated him from the vehicle.
Okay. Now, your body cam footage, when it comes on, you're well into the search. How come, per policy, you didn't have your body cam on prior to arriving?
Sometimes I forget to turn it on right away.
Okay. So you search the vehicle, and during the search, you're discussing with Officer Rhodes about whether he could have put it down his pants. You believe it was down his pants, and you don't want to have to go in and get it. What were you referring to?
It's been my experience through the contact that I've had in the past encounters with several subjects. A lot of the time, the drugs and the illegal narcotics are not going to be in plain view. When you go up to a car and you smell weed, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to say, here, officer, here's the drugs. It takes investigation, and you have to go through, it's a process. Mm-hmm. So Officer Rhodes and I were just, conversating about where the drugs could possibly be. Because of how he acted when I went to do that pat down and that preliminary search, indicated to me that there may be something hidden in there. Because when I did go around his pockets, he began to flinch, which is why I had to detain him. And past experiences, when people become fidgety like that and agitated and aggressive, a lot of the time they are hiding something. And that was my interpretation of it, that he was hiding something. And I was just confirming with Officer Rose that he also did smell the marijuana, and it was a possibility that it was on him, and it may not have been in the car. It was a strong possibility that was my interpretation, that through my experiences as a cop here in the Cocoa Police Department, the past 5 years, people that use drugs, people that know the streets and have contact with police and have arrest records like this guy, they know where to hide it, where we're not going to go.
Well, there's a reason why they hide it there.
Because most of the time we're not going to go there.
Well, most of the time you can't go there.
And most of the time we don't go there.
Right. So that's why they hide it there. Mm-hmm. So based on what you have here, what makes you go to the next level at this point?
The next level, based on my experiences in the past, enhanced it from the search of the car to the search of his pockets to checking underneath the undergarments.
Okay.
And then doing the hand sweep of the blade, using the blade of your hand to do the buttocks. Based on my experiences, if they're going to hide it there, that's how you would check. That's how you would check with the blade of your hand underneath the the pants and the undergarments, because it'll be tucked in an area that you're not going to feel through just a search. You're not going to feel it there. It's going to be tucked. It's going to be tucked there. And you're going to have, you kind of got to go a little bit in there, and you got to extend a little bit just to make sure it's not there. I did not grope, fondle, or anything like that. It was
well,
just
you went in there a little bit further than a little bit. I mean, you can physically see you moving his penis to the side to get to the other side.
In order to feel it, in order to possibly locate something that I believed, based on my experiences, was there, and it wasn't, and that's when I used the blade in my hand to do his rear end, because that's oftentimes where they hide it also. Those two spots are very common, and if you look at my arrest record, you're going to see, when people clench, when they clench their butts, they're clenching for a reason. You just don't do that. When they clench it, they may be hiding something there. I've had arrests where things have been hidden there. I've had arrests where things have been hidden, in that private area in front. And that's just based on my experiences as a street level cop in the city of Cocoa, in my beat, which is Zone 1, which is heavily influenced with possessions and dealings.
Did you stick your finger in his rectum when you were searching?
No, sir.
Okay. Yes, Al.
Have you ever had contact with Mr. Marvin prior to that incident?
Yes, I have.
What was that incident?
A traffic stop.
Did you issue him a ticket?
No.
Okay. So it was just a traffic stop?
It was a traffic stop on Pineda Street. I would say maybe a month or two prior to this. When you watch my video, we reference it because he says, "I remember you," and it took me a minute, and then I remembered him. I pulled him over. I believe it was a tag light. Approached the car, smelled weed. No, officer. I asked him, "Do you have anything illegal inside the vehicle?" Same MO. No. He didn't give me as much of a problem as he did this time. Even though I still got him out of the car, I patted him down. I searched the exterior part of his pockets, and I wasn't, based on that, because of the friendliness, I gave him a verbal warning.
So did you go to that extent that time as you did on this one?
No, I didn't.
What was the difference?
The difference was, this was my second encounter. The marijuana smell was much stronger on his person this time, as opposed to my first encounter with him, where I felt like the smell was coming from inside the vehicle a little bit more that time. And I did search the vehicle, not an extensive search like we did this one. It was more, I would say the stop was probably a quarter, if not the half or maybe a quarter of the time that this one was. It wasn't a long investigation at all.
So you feel that the search you conducted on Mr. Passawi was just, in your mind, looking for narcotics?
Based on the totality of the circumstances, I'm going to say I went a little too far.
Okay. A little too far, or?
Yeah, I believe I searching him. I didn't. When I look at it, it's marijuana. Really, I mean, to dig like that for marijuana. No, there doesn't have to be a reason for that.
Well, and it's a good reason to bring up the other one. I'm going to move to that traffic stop now, where you stopped the young man with the marijuana. Mm-hmm. We watched the video of that, and in that video, you ask him about the marijuana, and he actually comes up with it and hands it to you. Mm-hmm. You're willing to throw, or what'd you do with that marijuana?
It was discarded.
How?
I threw it out.
Just in the garbage?
In a dumpster.
Okay. So why didn't you just drop that into evidence?
I should have.
Destroy. Okay.
I never got around to it. I should have.
So it's not a big deal on that traffic stop with the kid. The marijuana. Why did it go to such an extreme with Mr. Passaway with marijuana?
Because with the kid on that stop, he was upfront and honest. And if you look at, I don't arrest everybody that I come across with drugs. And I'll tell them, if you watch a lot of my videos when I deal with these people, if you're upfront and you're honest with me, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to let you go with the verbal warning. It's when you, and I'll say this, it's when you make me work. It's when I've had contact with you before and I've arrested you for things, or I have an indication of you may be hiding something, or you're in possession of something and you're being dishonest. That's when I look to pursue it a little farther, as opposed to honesty and being straight with me. making my job a little easier.
Right.
So I can get those off the street.
No, and I get it. Most of everybody says that, but I mean, you're met with people lie to you all the time. That's what they do. They lie to the police.
That's one of the hardest things for me to deal with is people lying to me.
Right.
Because I take it a little too personally, and that's something I have to do a better job with. And I've said that before, and I still say it, and it's just something I got to work on.
Okay. So back to the traffic stop with Officer Rhodes. How many times have you conducted a traffic stop in that same manner, thought the drugs were there or smelled the drugs were there, and conducted the same type of search?
You referring to initially or the latter search?
The latter search. I mean, basically the strip search, if you will, because Officer Baez said he's been with you 4 times when you've done that, and he actually didn't even know it was a violation of policy until this incident is what he testified to.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you do it those 4 times or more than 4 times?
All circumstances are different. It's not going to happen the same every time. You know, one of them that Baez was on with me is, you know, I brought the guy out of the car, went to searching him. I did the blade in my hand in his. He clinched up. He clinched hard, and then he started yelling and shouting. And then what I felt when I did the hand of my blade was something hard, and a hard object in there. And sure enough, he had a big bag of.
But policy has restrictions on when you can do that and when you can't. Not just what the atmosphere is at the time.
Okay.
Are you aware of what the policy said in regards to strip searches? Is basically what you conducted?
I am now. It was my impression at the time it wasn't a strip search. When I think of strip search, I think of bringing him back to the PD, taking his clothes off when something is too far from my grasp. You know, if they hide something, it's not going to be too far from my grasp right away. And at the same time, you got to think about, well, if they put it in their anal cavity like that and it gets lodged up in there, it could be a health issue. You know?
Well, that's why we have procedures and policy for things like that. I mean, it goes on to cavity searches if we're concerned about something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, the policy is there to protect you and the citizens of illegal searches.
Okay.
And perfectly in this situation, I get that other people, there was drugs found on him, but there was no drugs found on him.
But it wasn't a problem then. Why is it a problem now? Because I didn't find anything and because he made a complaint on me?
Well, it's because it's a violation of law and policy.
Then why wasn't this addressed when that was going on?
I don't know why it was addressed. I mean, this is the first that we've gotten a complaint about it.
Okay.
And, you know, put yourself in that. If that was your son or your daughter, and they just dropped off a friend who smoked marijuana in the car, and an officer pulls up, and they smell the marijuana, and they thinking what you're thinking, and they pull him out, and they search him the way you searched him in a parking lot with people walking around. How do you think you'd feel about the officer doing that to your child?
Well, this isn't my child. This wasn't, you know, this wasn't an upstanding citizen. This was a guy that smokes weed, that gets arrested for crack possession, that goes to jail, that comes and wants to get a good cop off the street and file a complaint. That's what this guy is. That's what this kind of person is.
Yeah, but we can't take somebody's past and use it against them for anything future. I mean, what if this guy has, you know, he found Jesus and he's come clean and he's trying to get his life straight.
So why does he smell like weed now?
Maybe somebody was in the car.
Well, why didn't he say that? Did he say that during the investigation?
Well, he doesn't have to say it.
Well, then why wouldn't he dispel my fear that officer,
he doesn't have to say it. I
just dropped my friend off. He was just smoking. Maybe it wouldn't.
But he doesn't have to tell you that. Do you know what the Fifth Amendment is? Do you know what that is? It's a right to not incriminate yourself. So during a traffic stop, I don't have to say a word to you.
Okay. Well, he was saying how it was the black and mild smelling.
He didn't have to. What I'm saying is he didn't have to say a word.
Okay.
He didn't even have to talk to you. Here's my license, and that's the extent of it.
Okay.
And then you have to investigate the call.
And I did investigate it.
Right, but you're investigating it. You just testified that you investigated based on his past. You felt like it was
just
worth
his past. It was everything going on. It wasn't just his past. I told you. It's the totality of the circumstance. It's not just people's past. It's their actions and behaviors while I'm on scene with them, during my contact with them, is how I go about my job. And I felt strongly that it was hidden inside his pants, somewhere and concealed either under his private area or concealed in his based on my experiences as a cop here. That's where they hide the drugs, and that's why I did what I did.
And you feel it's justified to do that type of search to get the drugs?
For marijuana, no. For the smell of marijuana, no. Did I do too much? Was I trying to do too much because of maybe I didn't want this guy getting away with this? Yeah.
So what if you found crack in his ass? Is it justified?
If I found crack?
Yeah. Do you feel like it's justified for you to conduct that search if it was more than marijuana?
How is that I don't understand how using the blade of my hand on his butt, I don't understand how that's a search.
Well, take the blade out. You stuck your hand in his private area,
right? And I told you that's where they hide it.
That's a violation of your.
Okay, so I admit to a violation.
Well, what I'm trying to get is your peace of mind when it comes to searching people, whether you think it's right or wrong, and if there's a line you cross. I think you see the means justify the ends if you are able to get the narcotics or the gun or whatever it is at the time. But there's laws that protect people in this country that prevent you from allowing you to do that without probable cause.
I feel like I had probable cause.
Just because you smelled marijuana.
Reasonable suspicion on his behavior, on his actions, his attitude.
But you can't go off of that.
That's what I went off of.
You smelled marijuana.
Yes.
And based on the marijuana smell, you felt like it was justified to strip search him in a parking lot.
I do not feel like I strip searched him.
Well, per our policy you did. And actually our policy mimics state statute. So that same wording in our policy is taken straight from state statute.
Okay. I don't see how checking underneath his private area and then using the blade of my hand on his buttocks, I don't understand how that's a strip search. I don't.
Because it's not that you felt a gun and you were trying to do it for officer safety. You're smelling marijuana and it wasn't there.
Right, it wasn't there.
Right. So everything you did to this guy was not just. Go ahead, Al. When do you feel that it's justified to search a person for whatever reason?
When you're arresting him?
So that's perfect on this one. He wasn't even arrested.
Right.
That's where our policy starts.
Right. Searching. What do you talk? Do you mean strip search?
I'm talking about any search. You're saying you're able to, or you feel you're justified in searching anyone if you think you have enough to do it, whether it be you smell it, their attitude, or their past history.
I don't feel like that was a full-blown search.
Well, what's missing?
I got news for you. I think it was still tucked. I still think it was still tucked away, and I just couldn't feel it. If you really want to know the truth, but I wasn't trying to go any further than I did.
I think you went pretty far. I think if there was anything in there, especially the amount you're smelling.
No, I didn't. The video, yeah, you can look at the video all day long. I know what happened. I know what happened there because I was there, and you guys can look at the video all day long and say this and say that. I know what truly happened. Was that justified? I feel like it was, and it may not meet the mold of the policy here, but I feel like it was, and I've made arrests, and I found a lot of drugs doing that same method.
Do you know this gentleman could file a federal lawsuit against you for unlawful search and seizure? Are you aware of that?
I mean, you could sue anybody for anything these days, so.
Well,
if he feels like he really needs to,
well, I don't know.
Which, according to you, he hasn't done anything, and a lot of people are all talk, right?
I get it. I'm just making you aware of that.
He's just trying to get a good cop off the street, and you guys are entertaining it. At the end of the day, that's what it is.
Well, I have to entertain every complaint, and to be honest with you,
that's why I even told him to go and file a complaint.
Right.
That's why Bias told him, if you have a complaint, go file it. But if you listen to the video, he consents to whatever I'm going to do. Just get it over with so I can leave. If you listen to it, just go ahead.
But that doesn't make it okay.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. I'm not going to argue with you.
Well, I'm just trying to get your state of mind at the time.
My state of mind was he was hiding something, and this was probably the second time. And based on his history, based on his actions that day, based on the totality of the circumstance of everything going on, the heavy smell of weed that was inside the car, we took him out, then it was coming from him. I felt like it was concealed on his person based on my experiences in the past with the arrests that I've made and the contact that I've had with people.
Okay. How come you didn't complete a report on that call? That you didn't, that you searched him and backed up Officer Rhodes or anything?
I don't think Officer Rose even wrote a report.
No, you didn't. He gave him a ticket.
Okay. You don't write reports on just tickets, right?
Well, it was a little bit more than just a ticket. I mean, that's why we're here, are we not?
It was just a ticket, then it became a complaint, and then you guys put me on suspension. So I don't know when I was supposed to do a report.
Well,
and then even Sergeant Moon said this was going to be nothing.
Why would he say that?
I don't know. You ask him.
Okay. All right.
He said he was going to take. He didn't know how he was going to explain it, but I said, "Is this going to be? You think this is going to be an IA?" He said, "I don't think so."
Well, he testified that he spoke to you in the past about going past, going up to the line, going past it,
and
and he actually talked about this after
we had a conversation.
Okay, so
about not just this, about everything going on.
Right.
You know, because I feel like he was maybe concerned about what might be going on in my personal life and things like that, how it may be affecting my job, and things weigh on me. This really had nothing to do with this was Rock, the police officer.
Officer Moon said when you had your taser download every month or yearly or quarterly, they do taser downloads to get the report. She stated that when she did your taser download, you didn't have any cartridges in your taser. You were out of cartridges, basically. You had an empty taser, and you were a little shocked that there was no cartridges in there.
No, I think there was one missing.
Okay, but I couldn't find any usages for a taser.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened with that?
I think maybe it was just one dropped out.
Okay. Okay.
I was weirded out that there was only one in there.
Right. Yeah.
Which had to have been recent because I check the thing once every week.
Well, and that's why I said I looked at your response to resistance, and I didn't see any dealing with a taser.
I'll do the spark test once a week, so it had to have been fairly recent that I might have lost one.
Okay. All right. You have anything you want to add?
Do you understand at this point in time, after reviewing all of this today, the proper procedures that you must adhere to as it applies to searches of
To
persons?
keep my job, yes. To keep my job, yes. I understand that now. To keep my job. I like this job. I feel like I help the community. Everybody out here knows who I am.
I know. I mean, you're a proactive officer. I get it.
And it's just not being about proactive. It's about, people. And this is what gets me in trouble. It's the fact that, I care. It's the fact that I care, and I'm not a robot. And I'm never going to be a robot. Where you just go out, oh, sorry, ma'am, I can't help you. Or you need the number of the DV shelter. I don't know, look it up on Google. I go a little farther. It's not just the arrest that I make. A lot of people, know who I am because of the work that I do. Is I go farther than most of these cops. I care a little bit more. And Commander, that gets me in trouble too. Is because I care.
Well, I could see that. But as long as you can do that, you can be that guy and be that helpful. And also stay within the boundary and be proactive and get the drugs and get the guns off the street.
I agree with you, and I have to do a better job of evaluating the situation and ask myself, is it worth it?
Right. You might not get him today.
Is it worth it going and getting a little marijuana that guy might be hiding from me? But it wasn't about the marijuana. It's the fact that he was lying to me. And I knew he wasn't. This was the second time he was. And I didn't want him
that's what they do.
That's what they can do.
They lie to us. That's their job. Our job.
And it's hard for me working in this city for as long as I have. I'm not a Vieira cop. I've been working Zone 1 and Zone 2. I don't want to work anywhere else. I don't want to go and hide in Zone 3.
No, I
go to Walmart and make the theft arrests and sit there all day like some of the guys do. I'm in the thick of things. I'm driving around Peachtree Street, Prospect Ave, Fern Ave, Fisk Boulevard. That's my loop, and I do that probably 100 times a shift. And the people that I deal with, they're not going to be the upstanding citizens that most of these cops deal with. I'm not going to go and hide. I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to go in and do my job and do what I feel like I need to do as a good cop here and make a difference.
But what you're doing is not. You're getting to the arrest part. They're not doing anything.
Right,
so I mean, yeah, you got a gun off the street, is what you said. However, the guy's on the street now. Maybe he wouldn't have been on the street if you had the video, if you had a good search or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all for nothing because you're getting that gun off, but they're turning around. But those are the things that ruin cops on the stand.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of the lack of integrity when it comes to protecting the evidence and dropping it into evidence and
organized.
Right.
But you asked my wife. I'm not a very organized person, and that's another thing that I got to work on. Is I'm not really organized. Look at my trunk, for crying out loud. I just place things. It's so within reach, so I don't have to dig for it. So I know exactly where it is, and my ASP, my spray, my tint meter, my ticket writer or the ticket book. I know where all that, the statute book. I know where it is. It may be messy, but I know where it's at. And I knew those things were in there. I just had to take care of it, and I didn't. I had to take care of it, and I didn't. That's the bottom line. So
okay. Al, you got anything to add?
No, I think we covered all the ground.
All right, raise your right hand for me. You swear the statement just provided is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, that's going to conclude the interview.
Rock Contardi was fired from the police department after an investigation found him guilty.